Nithyanandam everyone, welcome back to the Kundalini Yogini. This is Prasiddha and thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Today I just wanted to share with you guys about a topic which has been very prevalent in my life experience and also something that I really felt was important to share with you guys, especially the topic of manifestation. And I think a lot of times we get a little hung up in this concept of manifesting and the secret and law of attraction, and I think there's one really important spiritual component to it that has aided me a lot in my ability to experience joy and bliss in whatever that is happening around me and whatever that is manifesting towards me. And that is the fine, very important balance between manifesting what you want and surrendering into the flow of life. And what I mean by this is a lot of times when we're manifesting, when we're basically creating what we want around us, right? Where we have goals, we have ambitions, we have plans. The great thing is we're really active, we're intense, and that's a beautiful life-filled energy. That's not the problem. The problem is along with that energy, we sometimes confuse it with putting ourselves and our plans into a set box, and that in turn creates resistance when things don't go according to our plan. And there's a really, really important quote about this that really hit home for me, and I think it can bring a lot of wisdom into all of our lives, so I just want to share that with you before I continue on. This is from Living Enlightenment by my Guru Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda, and this is all about flow and intensity. You see, no river needs a navigator to the ocean. There are no signboards for any river that say, "Here is the ocean." Yet all rivers reach the ocean. They reach the destination. When your whole energy moves in one direction, as a whole, you can move easily. When you are intense and ready to flow, you will achieve the goal, that's all. Usually intensity leads to a solid feeling. You may be intense, but you have lost the ability to flow. Or you may be flowing, but you have lost the intensity. And this is what we see a lot nowadays. I've seen a lot nowadays. So you may be intense, but you've lost the ability to flow because you're driven by your ego. You are determined to achieve what you want, but you have your own rigid ideas about how to get there. You fail to understand that existence can make events happen in a much more beautiful and effective way than you can plan. You fail to understand that existence makes events happen in a much more beautiful and effective way than you can plan. I think this is such an important line. I tell my disciples, plan in the best way to the best of your ability. Then leave it, let it go. It may seem that all your plans are being trampled by life. Don't get frustrated at that point. Something much more beautiful than what you had planned will come to life. This is from page 403 of Living Enlightenment. By the way, you can get this book completely for free. It's probably one of the most transformational books on spirituality I've ever come across, and you can read it for free in so many different languages, whatever that you speak. And why I wanted to point this out is that key line, that you've lost the ability to flow, and you forget that existence can plan better than you could ever imagine. I think this is such a powerful cognition we can bring ourselves into as spiritual beings, as the Atman, the souls, the individual souls that we are, that I can truly guarantee you, if you really imbibe this understanding into your belief system, into your cognitions, it really profoundly changes your experience of life, because instead of feeling resistance to everything that doesn't go according to our plans, instead of feeling hatred or anger or failure or sadness or despair or self-hatred when we fail at something we're going towards, or when the thing that we wanted doesn't happen how we wanted it to, all of that creates so much unnecessary suffering in us. When we come into the space of actually really truly believing and trusting that life has an ultimate plan for us much grander and greater than we could have ever imagined, we enter into that state called flow. We're in that state where we can be surrendering our ego. And this does not mean we stop acting. Don't get that confused. And I think that's where a lot of people have a fear. They think that if they unclutch from their results of their actions that they won't be active. But this is a complete misconception. You can be intensely active and engaged with life, but also in a state of surrender to the plan that existence, God, the universe, Paramashiva, has for you. And I just wanted to share with you guys one experience of this I had recently. So I was up in the Bay Area, and I got asked to go up there by a dear friend of ours, our families, and amazing projects are happening up there, and I won't go too much into that, but I was planning an event with my friend, and I really experienced that week when I was up there this exact state, where I was in this space where I could see a lot of my dreams and visions and goals coming together. But I made sure I was really conscious, like I brought my awareness to the fact that don't clutch, don't get resistant when things don't go according to how you envision them or your plan. And just by being in this space, I had one, the most blissful week ever. I just felt so much gratitude and blessings surrounding me in every moment. And two, having that space allowed me to actually see reality clearly for what it was. And that means you can witness all the miracles that are 24/7 unfolding around you. How everything was falling perfectly into place and not according to my plan, without my doing, just by me surrendering and making myself available. And I think that's the key thing. By making ourselves available to life, by saying yes to life, being intensely alive and active and engaged with the life around us, the people, the places, the things, the opportunities that are being presented to us, and saying yes to them, taking that responsibility to say yes, but then surrendering to what the divine has in store for us. And what I saw, so I got an opportunity to teach yoga, which I haven't got to do in a long time, and I haven't really talked about that much on here, but I've been truly missing that experience of getting to share that space with people. And I was so excited that I got the chance to teach up there. And I had this whole set plan on what class I was going to do, and I was going to teach this 108 asana sequence that's our normal sequence we teach in Nithyanandam yoga that I've taught for so many years, and I was so excited to teach that. Then there was this family emergency that happened with the family I was staying with, and it was so much more important, and we had to focus on what was in front of us. And so I was just completely unclutched and embracing that moment that was happening. And I didn't feel upset or anything, and that was the beautiful part. Normally I might have gotten really stressed out by that. I became over an hour late to this event that I was supposed to be the leader and teacher of, right? And that could create a lot of stress and tension, but I just was completely letting it go, dropping it at my guru's feet, and just knowing that it would work out as it was supposed to. And then I messaged the woman who was hosting my yoga class at her center, and I was just chatting with her about my ideas for what maybe we could do with the remaining time we had. I thought I'd only have 30 more minutes or so with the group by the time we got there. And I had this whole new plan that I was gonna do a certain flow, and I would introduce the different components of yoga that we teach in Nithyanandam yoga and all this. So then I got there, and once again, my plans were shattered, and it was just a totally different ambiance than what I had pictured, and of course, it ended up being so perfect that I was just in that space of going with the flow, because if I would have stuck to my plan, I don't think that the participants would have even had the experience, the positive experience they did, because if I would have stuck to my original plan, I wasn't speaking into the listening of the people that were participating in my yoga session. And when I decided to just read and feel the room and to just connect individually with the 6 people, so there was like 6 or 7 people that were there, and meet them where they were at, I got to do an introduction to what yoga is. They were brand new to yoga. Literally, some of them had never even done one yoga class. So it was a beautiful opportunity to just start with the basics and the really important components of what yoga is and why we do it. And so I just surrendered into that space, and it ended up being such an amazing session of connection and sharing that divine truth that my guru has shared with me. And then I led them into a Surya Namaskar, which is also a very traditional yoga that we do in Nithyananda yoga. And they had such a beautiful experience. At the end of the event, one of the girls was even crying and tearing up. And so it was just a really fulfilling experience, and that was just one example. And normally, me being more of a like type A personality, I would have wanted everything to go perfectly according to my set plan and vision and my prep and everything. I'm always that person that's organized, on time, early actually, getting everything, you know, so it's a great experience. But I just went with what life was presenting to me, and it ended up being so much better than what I could have done. And so that was just one little example for you guys of why it's so important to yes, manifest what we want, but also always be in the state of surrender for how things will play out. And that's the important thing to remember. We should have our goals and ambitions and visions for our life, which is so important for us living out our dharma, our purpose. But we also have to unclutch, let go, surrender to the results of that action, of how we're going to get there. The how is always a mystery, and that's the beautiful part of life. If we embrace it, we can feel its beauty. If we resist it, we feel pain and we feel suffering. We feel that life doesn't support us. We feel frustrated. We feel let down by life, by God, by our friends and family. But when we surrender, we actually can take a step back and be objective and see all the beautiful opportunities which are always around us for our expansion only. And even when things feel like they're falling apart or failing, it's truly an opportunity for us to expand our ideas of ourselves, our qualities inside of us, and to continue to raise our consciousness. So I just wanted to share that message with you guys today, and I hope that it made sense and I was able to convey it in the way that I've experienced it. Sometimes words don't do these things justice, but I really hope it brought you guys something, and I think this is really an important tidbit to remember when we're manifesting our life and focusing in the law of attraction and all these things which are gaining a lot of popularity, is remembering that component of surrender. So thank you guys. I love you. Please let me know if you have reservations or questions or holdups in the comments below that I might be able to help you with and clarify. Make sure to download Living Enlightenment if you want some of this beautiful, untouched wisdom for yourself that you can just directly open up and get answers to the questions that are inside you every day. It really is considered like a divine being, a deity, this book, and so whenever you ask it something, you open to that page and I swear you get the answer immediately. It really works that way, so enjoy. I love you guys. Have a beautiful week and I will see you on the next video. Nithyanandam, everyone.